Hi, it's Natasha Bordeaux again, and this is for Communications, the informative presentation. As I stated in my introduction presentation, I'm a farmer. I farm beef cattle over in Cheshire, Mass. I want to talk about beef cattle as my information thing because I am very true about that subject and I love it and I deal with it every day, so I know a lot about it. So, with our presentation and how we do things on the farm, it is different with every farmer. So, what I say might be something totally different that someone else does. But in our general aspect, we have about 50 cows and they all have babies between February and March of every year. Um, we have about 10 that are new mothers. They is their first baby. They go about 3 years old when they have their first baby. That way they are full grown and they are healthy and good shape to raise a baby. We calve out, like I said, between February and March, and every calf that is born, we give certain vaccinations to and certain shots, vaccinations. We weigh every single one of them to track their weight gain, just like newborn baby does. When they're born, they weigh them, and then every doctor's appointment after they weigh them to make sure they are growing accurately for the regulated amount that they set through doctor standards. It's just like that. With veterinary standards, we have an estimate of what the calf growth should be. So after everyone has had their babies, we have a special pasture where it's a field that they have some grass area, but most of the time it's still snow on the ground. So that grass isn't growing. So we feed a lot of grain, which has a lot of corn in it and special minerals and nutrition to help those mamas produce healthy milk supply for those babies. And we feed them hay. So from most of the for most of the springtime, we are feeding hay. And then once the pasture and the grass starts growing, we put them on a green pasture, and all the moms are with their babies for 6 months of the year. And over the summer, we weigh the calves 2 more times. We weigh the mothers to make sure that as they're nursing those babies and those babies are growing, they aren't losing too much weight. Because I know with human mothers, they can tend to lose weight when they're nursing a baby. And we want to monitor that and make sure the cow and the calf are healthy. The calf is growing at a good, steady pace. It's getting the nutritional needs from its mother that it needs. And the mothers are also maintaining a good quality of life. At 6 months old, we wean them. It's just like a human mother weaning their baby, as the baby can get fussy and all that, but we wean them at a point that they don't necessarily need that milk anymore. They want grain and they want hay, and that's what they need to grow. The milk is just a supplement. They're fully drinking water, they're eating their own hay, and they're eating grain on their own. At weaning time, we also give another round of vaccinations and we weigh them to see how much they grew from being born to weaning time. And we weigh the mothers also because at that point, those mothers are going to be bred again with, we use a bull. So we don't do anything artificial. We don't invade their privacy. We have a bull that goes with the herd and they do things naturally. They come into cycles once a month, just like a woman has a cycle once a month, and then they get bred by our bull and then they're ready for the next season. After weaning, the mothers and the calves are near each other, but they're separated by a fence. That way they can touch noses and everything, so it's not as stressful on either of them. But they aren't able to nurse on the mothers, and eventually they get separated fully, and at that point they are perfectly fine. We continue feeding them grain and hay, and they drink water freely, and they're just overall happy. And we interact with them, and we keep their barn very, very clean. When weaning is complete, we separate the males from the females when it comes to calves. In our facility, we keep the females to have their own babies when they're of age, but we sell the males. And we actually sell the males to a farmer over in central Massachusetts who raises them as grass-fed natural beef, and they actually feed restaurants out in Boston. And it's all natural, and the animals are treated completely well the whole time that they're with us and with that following farmer. And then at that point, our cows continue with their pregnancies and they just continue growing that baby and eat and feed. And throughout the winter, we prep them by bringing the ones with the due dates closer into the barns. That way we can watch them closely in case they ever need assistance giving birth. And then the cycle continues, and then we start having calves again, and we continue doing that every single year. All right, thank you.